Welcome in, everybody. Happy to have you guys here for another. Happy to have you guys here for another Wednesday webinar. Today we're talking about subdivides.
Yep, diving into subdivides today, guys. Excited to hop in it. The great topic, and this is always going to be a growing topic in it because there's just so much financial benefits to it, and there's a lot of things that you can't do with the standard buy and flip run that you can do that opens up the door for a lot of different avenues for subdivisions that we're going to get into here. But welcome in, guys.
What we're going to focus on is kind of like a deal review in terms of subdivide deals. I think it's like how to make the most out of these deals, if they're sustainable, what kind of land is good for them. But like a deal review subdivide focused, I think is going to be good.
Nice. I like that. Yeah. And then you can kind of work backwards from there. And then we'll come back and tell you guys how to target them on the next one or within the next month or so. Welcome in, guys. Excited to be here. Get your guys' questions in the chat if you guys have any, but we're going to dive in and do all things subdivides today. Do you guys filter out farmland and agriculture land? No, we do not. Brilliant. But you can easily. If you're sending to 1,000 parcels in general and 200 of them are farmland, it's typically a lot less likely to get back farmland. But there's also a lot of areas in the country that are heavy ag type of land in the area. So I think it really depends. I know from doing our deal reviews around, a lot of people do get farmland and target it, but it just really depends. You're less likely in some of those areas, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, happy to have everybody here. We're talking about subdivide deals. We're going to review a few subdivide deals. They're not that hard. That's the biggest thing, I think. A lot of people, I don't know if they're scared away or the price tag. I don't know, but yeah, they're not that difficult, to be honest with you.
Not at all. I think they're easier on the acquisition side because you can pay more money because of how the financial returns and the value that you're putting in there. You're going to get exponential returns on the back end from that value. So I think you can go up. It makes the whole acquisition process a lot easier. You can get more out of your marketing. Got to get good at sales and negotiation for sure, but that's with all land. I think the acquisition process is actually easier because you can go up so high in market value. You can buy on the market land and make subdivides work.
For sure. And that's a nice thing. I know we have some students who are doing that, and it's cool to see like the ability to just expand their business. Maria, hello. Frank, what's up? Roderick, Frankie, JK, Carlos, Amber. I don't know if I said Amber. Max, what's up? Happy to have everybody here. We'll get started here in the next couple of minutes. Again, today we're going to focus on reviewing subdivide deals. We've done some deal reviews in the past, but actually breaking it up, like how to look at it, making sure it's sellable on the back end so you can get the most money out of these deals if you're doing them. I think it's a really valuable thing.
Yep, absolutely. And we're going to walk you through, or we'll touch a little bit on targeting them. This is just some very, very basic stuff on targeting, just to get you guys started. But once you know how to analyze and know what you're looking for, targeting becomes easier. So you know the restrictions you're looking for in the areas, you know the road frontage, you know how much road frontage you need, and you can cater your offer price based on that road frontage. And there's different things you can do on the marketing side with that stuff. But I know a lot of people in the community are offering based on road frontage now too, Ron. That seems to be getting more popular.
Exactly. Question of the day. I know we talked a little bit, I think a different type of goals, maybe last week or 2 weeks. What is your 2025 what is your 2025 profit goal in land flipping? Dollar, it can be a range, obviously. But if you're thinking about getting into this business, if you haven't taken the step, or maybe you're doing some deals already, what is your profit goal in land flipping in 2025? So much opportunity right now, Dan. And that's why I like kind of keep on pressing. A lot of people sit on the sidelines and kind of wait. There's so much opportunity right now in this business still. And that's why I really want people taking action, setting these goals, and then taking action.
I mean, time's your biggest asset when it comes to business. Once you get started, it's you start the learning process, you start acquiring it. Just time's huge. Like I think that it's always the right time now to start a business. If you're delaying it because of whatever reason, I think it's always better to start now than delay it personally, unless there's certain situations, of course. But if I were going back, just speaking of this topic, Ron, if I were going back, I wouldn't do anything besides subdivides. And I mean that. I wouldn't do anything at all besides subdivides in decently hot areas, expensive land, buy it at market value, 80 to 95%, buy it in cash using funding, and subdivide it. I don't think I would do any other deals.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these goals that we're seeing come through right now, can be done with one Subdivide deal. And that's the thing, guys. Like $50,000 goal, it's great. Like if you can add $50,000, that is legitimately one deal. Some of the 100,000, same thing. Like there's so much opportunity, and once you learning the marketing, learning the acquisition strategy is so important. But like just taking action, I think that's where most people miss out. Is just they don't jump into this.
Yeah, I agree. Welcome in, guys. Welcome, Logan, Dana, Donna with 100K, Owen 50K, Logan 500K, 500K profit. So double your money, 500K. Yeah, I got it.
Max 650 to 800.
650 to 800.
0.6.
Oh, he's doing the, so Max up there is doing what he does for, is this what you do, Max? So he's doing a 70%, 0.7, if that makes sense. So 650 to 800 feet, you offer of road frontage, you offer 60%. Is that what you're doing there, Max? Obviously based on size as well.
Got it. Yeah, that's cool to see. There's a lot of different and that's the thing. There's so many different strategies that go into even minor subdivides. Yeah, cool to see. Greg C.
Right.
Max, what does that mean? That might have been a separate thing. I don't think that was a goal. Hopefully they can see here, Dan. Oops.
No, that's cool though to see that's what you do, Max. Yeah, so Max is offering based on road frontage.
All right, cool. Yeah, a lot of good goals. $500,000, $1 million, or $100,000, $50,000. If you're in this business, like your goal should be six figures already. If you're already in this business, like there's no reason you shouldn't make six figures. I think your minimum should be 250. You've already done some deals. Like you need to really push yourself for those goals, I think. And that's what we're seeing a lot of people do. But let's get rolling here. You mentioned funding. What's your typical? We'll talk about that in a little bit, digital nomad. But all right, so let's go over. I actually saved a couple different subdivides. So whether you're targeting subdivides, you get some deals that come back for subdivides. There's different ways to get these, but we are going to go over, like I said, reviewing these deals that are subdivides right now on the land portal. I'll show you some tools on here where you can see. We're not going to go through how to target these. That is not the purpose of this. It is you get properties with good road frontage, like this property. How do we get the most money? Does it make sense? So we're going to say, for this example, we're going to say we're under contract on this property for $130,000, Dan. The first thing I want to do with something like this, first off, you can see on the land portal, we have 2,000 feet of road frontage. We have 35 feet of 35 acres. So we have the ability. We can't. The only thing is with this county that we can't do is go under 3 acres. That's what we're going to say for this purpose. So we can subdivide however many times we want, but we just cannot have any properties that are under 3 acres because that's what they define as a minor subdivide. First thoughts on this property, Dan?
I mean, I can tell that you use the road frontage filter on the land portal. When you get 25 acres with 2,000 feet of road frontage, that means you usually use that tool. So this is really solid land. You have 2,000 feet of road frontage. The good thing about land like this is it's very wide, but it's not that deep. That means you can slice the hell out of it and really, really slice it up easily without it being a skinny, long lot. You can slice them into nice squares and still get a lot out of them. That's why I really like this one, because it's not as deep and it's wider, but it's still going to make really nice parcels. I think this land is phenomenal. I'd give it A+ land. You really can't beat this land with just a simple minor subdivide in my mind.
100%. Karina, what would you recommend to someone like me that is new to land and would like to learn and don't know where to start? I put a link in in the YouTube description, landinvestingonline.com/consultation. If you want to schedule a call, we can help you put you in the right direction. All right. The first thing I always look at is like the quality of the land. Are we going to have slope issues? And when you're subdividing, one of the key things that a lot of people don't take into account is slope, wetlands, floodplain, things that can have defects on the land. For this land in particular, the only thing that I would make sure I get eyes on, Dan, is this area over here. Just make sure this isn't too slope. Make sure there's not some kind of valley or something really steep. Probably give this one a little more road frontage so you have this flatter area here. But other than that, like you can see the 3D, this is pretty darn flat in terms of land. The land's really, really good. It just is going to come down to price, being creative in terms of breaking it up. I'm going to actually, let me pull up. Give me a second.
How deep is it also, Max asked? That's a good question.
Good question. Give me 1 second, Max.
We'll go right in the middle and just measure the depth there with the tool.
So I'm gonna go. Let's go. This is Newberry County, South Carolina. I don't think I
Yeah,
said that.
35
35
acres,
acres.
20, 50 feet of road frontage.
So let's just break this down a little bit. So 35 acres, Newberry, South Carolina. What'd you say? Was it 2,000 feet of road frontage?
Yeah, do it on the next line.
All right.
And 3-acre minimum.
Can't subdivide under
Just put 3-acre min, yeah.
acres. All right, cool. All right, and purchase price is $130,000.
Yep.
All right, Max said, "How deep is it?" I like that question, Max. So again, guys, I don't know what 130,000 is relative to market value. What we like to do typically on deals like this, when we're subdividing, you want to double your money. We have 700 feet back. These are going to be very, very natural. I mean, there's a chance we can get some multiple 3-acre parcels out of here, Dan. So I'm curious to what we can do. I'm not going to break it up yet. I want to first see what market value is because I'm curious about that. Gabe said something interesting the other day, just talking about going after deals. He does not go under, I think, over 80%, maybe is what he said.
Or
But
no,
he said max, he never goes over market value, and he splits. I think
gave you in here.
he said he wants
That
to be
was a
about
good little
40%
range.
of the expected money return.
No, yeah, 80. He subtracts expected return by 20%. And then
We're in Newberry County, South Carolina. Let's see what the comps show here.
he tries to double from 20% less, essentially.
We want to see how we can maximize money. So we have the information here. Let's see where we are in the county. Then we'll get into breaking up. So we're north of Newberry. I really want to get into the weeds on this, Dan, because it's good for people to see this, how to look at them, because I know a lot of people are going after these deals. We have 50 acre. I'm sorry. We have 35 acres. You can see 24. This is over here. We're right here. This is where our property is, right in this vicinity. I really would love a comp in this area. Here's 23 for 160. Looks like it has some structures on it, maybe. Again, I am just trying to find out market value, to be honest.
Of our land without subdividing. So we know
Without
where we're at.
subdividing, absolutely.
And that's important so you don't over leverage if all things, just from a risk mitigation, if you need to dispose of the deal and the subdivide doesn't work or something does happen, you don't want to be over leveraged and be in 150% of market value, even if the numbers make sense. And you don't need to buy land for 150%. You can usually get as much land as you want for around market value, or a little bit below typically.
This appears to be the best comp. It is 15 months old, 16 months old, which isn't great. But that being said, I believe this is probably best. So we just say if our property is worth $180,000, that means we're buying for whatever, 130 divided by 180. We're buying for, what is that, 60, 65% of market value, maybe a little over that actually.
That'd be 198. So 198, what is it? We're in at 130 divided by.
So you're saying market value is 198, same acreage? Is that what you're saying?
If we did that. So about 65%, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers, and you can get these deals. I don't want to say all day long because this deal might be a little better than that, but I want to see can we get 300,000 from this deal? Can we get 320? What does that look like? So real fast, what I want to do before I start breaking it up on our map on the land portal, I think I have a land portal free trial link in the description as well. But what I want to do is see what different acreage ranges are selling for. These properties right here. So these right here, Hobby Lane. I think these Hobby Lane. I really don't want these. These are one subdivide over here that seems to be some outliers. I don't know if it's an HOA or something like that. I just do not want to use those comps. I don't trust those comps very much. This one's in city limits. This is probably, yeah, that looks like it's probably going to be, wherever that went. It's probably going to be, what's it called? Commercial land, something like that. Let's just see, Dan. So here's some other ones, but again, that's over here. These, I really don't want these comps. I'm going to try to get those off. There. Oh my goodness, we don't have anything. All right, 2.65. Maybe we just go over here, Dan, and try to get. Not a lot of comps. I do like this. Like, this is a 3-acre comp for us. So if we break up into 3 acres, like, okay, we're getting $10,000 an acre for 3 acres, essentially.
Yeah, which is 350.
And I don't think it's going to be much different, honestly, for 5-6 acres. Here's 6.82 for sale for $89,000. It's overpriced. So it's been on the market for 61 days, only 26 saves on Zillow. It's not a very good ratio in terms of that. That one's been on the market. Okay, this is why I'm not sorted here. So a lot of overpriced on the market. This says this is too expensive, but I think you're going to get $8,000 an acre for 5 acres, 8 to 9, honestly, Dan. You agree about that?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you get a little bit more.
So just doing the math, we're buying for what are we buying for, Dan? How much is this
130.
per acre?
So we're buying for
130.
130. What was that? What did I say? 5,800. 130.
No, what are we buying for?
Price per acre, you're saying?
Yeah.
130. Let me see.
By 35.
37.
3,700.
Yeah.
So again, doubling your money on these subdivides, they're project-based things. You really want to do that as much as possible. You start not doubling your money, it gets a little weird. I think you're going to get expected 5-acre sale is, you want to say 9K, Dan?
Oh, you said 5? No, 3. I think we can get 30. I would go as low as possible with this. As long as there's demand in the area.
Let's just do both. 9,000 an acre and 3 expected 3-acre sale. 10,000 an acre.
Yeah. So that puts you between.
So your max you get if you have
315 to 350.
If you have 11 3-acre parcels, and they're going to be a little more than 3 acres, you're not going to be able to get that, I don't think, out of this property. But if you have 11 3-acre parcels, you're going to get $10,000 an acre, and you're getting 350,000. 35 times 10, you're going to get around $350,000 for this property in 130. And we're going to have survey expense about 5,000.
So what Gabe does, and he doesn't add that survey up or anything. So what he does, which I kind of like, so he'll take that expected sale price, so it's 350, and he'll times it by 0.2, I believe. And then, so that's 70. So he'll do 350 minus 70 and that 280. So if you're offering them and trying to come up with an offer, he'll offer based on that 280 expected sale price because he knows their survey and you might have to cut costs and things might not go your way. So then he'll say work backwards from there and offer 100 to 140 essentially if you want to double your money, which is where we're at, Ron.
So let's do the fun part and start breaking this up. And we are editing some of these tools, I believe, right now, Dan, right? So it's a little more functional for this.
Yeah, it's just kind of not editing, but there's some things going on. Yeah.
Let's just see what this looks like when we go here. I might be giving this too much road frontage. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so that's 6 acres. We got to get that smaller, right? So would you just give, this one's going to be, do you want to start down here, Dan? Let's start down here. Let's see what we got.
How many, if we do 5 acres, so that puts us at 35 divided by 5. So we need 7 if we do 5 acres. What if we can do 3 and 5? So you have how many road frontage is that?
This has plenty of road frontage, but yeah.
I'm just thinking of what we're going to have.
These are not going to be fully exact. What you would tell a surveyor is just make sure these are at least 3 acres each. I'm not going to change that. I'm just breaking down. This is just an estimation. So you can kind of see what's possible. So yeah, we have 3 3s. And what we're going to try to find out is how much money we can get out of this. Could you mess with the shapes a little bit? Yeah, probably. I'm going to make this one a little smaller. It's getting a little deeper down here, Dan. We have a little more depth, so I can make these a little thinner, I think. Just like that.
Yeah, and the only thing you got to worry about, I guess, is the width of them. Just make sure, because if we have 10 lots, if we do some 3, some 5, 10 total lots, let's say 9, 10, that's 200 feet of road frontage each, Ron.
Mm-hmm. Which 200 feet with 3 acres isn't bad.
No. With 5, that's not even bad. That's actually good with 5.
You think so?
Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's a football field. 5 acres.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What do you got? 5. So now we have, keep going. Let's just see how it plans out. You might be giving more road frontage.
Maybe make it thinner back there like that.
6. And then do 2 big ones. Those are smaller.
Yeah.
Or 3.
These are going to be over 5. Part of me wants to do something like this, Dan.
Yeah, those are good lots.
What is that? That's 3.56.
And then what's this last one?
No, I think 2 more. This is gonna be like 8-9 acres. This last one's gonna be 5 or 6 acres, I believe. This is turning out really well.
That's why you go after these lots on the road frontage. I'm telling you.
So yeah,
5
we
acres.
have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 3-acre parcels, and these are gonna round up to probably 3.3 or something. That's why it's not adding up to exactly 5 acres. I also probably missed some road frontage here, missed some over here. And then 1 5-acre. So we have 9 3-acre parcels and 1 5-acre parcel. So let's go back here real fast. So let's just say expected 3-acre sale. Let's just do total. Actually, so yeah, let's do total. So $30,000 expected. And then we're going to times by 9. And that's going to equal 270,000. And then expected 5-acre, we said $9,000 an acre, which I think is low, honestly, which is 45,000. And this is just times 1 equals 45. $270. I wanted a straightforward one to start, Dan, because I think it's good for people to kind of see how much you can do with this. There's so much.
Yeah, it usually doesn't work out like this. Usually you have to make different shapes and sizes, and it doesn't work out this clean. This was a really simple one because of the shape of the parcel, so ideal.
But yeah, I mean, you're getting out of this parcel, you're getting $315,000. We're only buying for 130. And we said market value was like 190, something like that. So like we do technically, you make an offer like this, that property like this, you have room to go up. Like if they're trying to negotiate with how much you can get on this, you can offer 150, 155. I think pretty comfortably, because I think there is a way to get more out of this property, to be 100% honest. But if you're trying to double your money, and people talked about funding, Dan, if you get deals like this for 50% of market value, this obviously under 50% of the total value after you do your project, whatever it is, Subdivide, you're going to be able to get funding in our community with our certified. So here, let me just go here and show you guys. You get deals like this, submit them up here. I am on, this is for members and non-members. Deal funding here. Take some information. And this, what this does, our certified network, it shoots your deals out to, I don't know, 13, 15 investors who are qualified for these type of deals, who understand land, who are there to help. And that's the best thing to do, Dan.
Yeah, you'll get fun all day at this. That's a good point. And I'm glad you brought that up, because funding for this is gonna, even worst case scenario, if you sell for like 260 to 270, numbers still look very, very good. At a worst case scenario, 20% below what you think it's going to sell for if you have to wash sale them. The one thing you do want to look at, Ron, that I want to dive into while we have a few more minutes, is on Zillow. You want to, there's no comps in this area, so there is risk with that. But what you can do to kind of mitigate that is, if you do 3-acre lots like we did, you can offer people to buy both of them, and then you can just take 6 for like $8 to $9,000 an acre and sell both of them combined, so they get 6 acres instead of 3 acres, and you can sell them as 3 or 6 acre lots to kind of mitigate that risk. But you always want to make sure there's demand, because we're going to flood this market with 10 lots at one time. It's going to take some time to sell and to build, so you want to make sure that you do have demand when you sell 3-acre lots. So you want to make sure there's 3-acre lots around here.
Yeah, I'd be curious what the demand is. I'm actually going to go.
And you can look on the land portal too. Just look if there's 3-acre lots in the area.
For sale or sold?
Neither.
Oh, you mean around? I got you.
Yeah, just around it.
Yeah, so you look at Subdivides around.
So
like,
these are good.
This is going to be right around there, 3 acres. This is going to be 3 to 5 acres, somewhere in there. You have all these. These are filled too.
Almost all these are, yeah. Yeah, that's a good sign. This is going to be really good Subdivide.
But yeah, you just add this. It's pretty vacant. You want to make sure there's electricity, everything like that. That's stuff you'll deal with. Yeah, as far as the quality of this Subdivide, the potential outcome, I think it's great. You have all these too, Dan. Look at that. Oops.
That's like, that's really cool. Yeah, you're going to fill this out fast, I think. I like this a lot.
And you can see in areas like this how lenient they are with Subdivides. Like these are really, really odd shapes. A lot of these. Some of these aren't even on the road. Like this, this don't even have road frontage. These might have an easement or something. So like a county like this is very, very intriguing to me because these restrictions seem very, very light just on subdividing. Again, I was just being theoretical when I said 3-acre minimum. I don't know if you need road frontage. I don't know if you don't. Like, there's a lot you can. All these properties are landlocked according. I wonder if they're landlocked in our system. But yeah, I think there's really good potential here.
Yeah. Which ones are landlocked? Are you saying this?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's what I mean. They let people subdivide here without road frontage at some point. Who knows when it actually happened? But like, there's very lenient. I've seen things in this county before too, like that. Very lenient subdividing restrictions. But you also have things like this, which makes it very, very, very intriguing. This is extremely filled out for as rural as this is.
Mm-hmm.
What questions we have in here? Are you doing due diligence on the available splits before going to PUD? What's a PUD? Is that developer?
What's the question?
Are you doing due diligence on the available splits before going to PUD?
Yeah. What is a PUD? Developer?
Or is it like a contract?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we get under contract with our, I can just say the order of things. I mean, we get under contract on these properties. Yeah, you're going to have some negotiation. These properties are going to be a little different than a typical land flip that we do because there's going to be more negotiating up front. You're going to be doing more stuff like this, planned unit development.
Oh, okay,
There's going to be more stuff like this where you're breaking it up and really trying to find the end value. So planned unit development, as far as that, we're just looking for minor subdivides where it's just really a survey. You don't need that much. Yeah, you talk to zoning, stuff like that. You don't want to get into one of these contracts or what is the question? Due diligence. Are you doing due diligence on available splits? Yes. Yeah, so you want to, I don't think it needs to go that far. Like really just talking to zoning, what's required or what are the requirements for minor subdivide? Most counties have them. If you're not in city limits, it's going to be very low restrictions typically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we're doing these with.
You don't need house. You don't need builders for this. These are not lots for builders.
They could be, but a lot of times,
but most likely they're going to be mobile home lots. You look what's around. It's going to be people who bring mobile homes, double wide, single wides, mobile homes, and they're just going to throw them on these lots. They're going to live and be.
Or the owner's going to buy it and then figure out the building later a lot of times as well. Yeah, we're putting this on the MLS. Builders could occasionally buy it, but 95, we're in rural America right now. Zoom out on a map and you'll see it. 95% of this time, we're outside Columbia. 95+% of the time, this is going to go directly to owner and they're going to put what they want on it without a builder involved, like a mobile home, or they're going to develop it in the future. But this is going to go to end users more times than going
just like what happened with these. Like these weren't bought by, these are bigger acreages, but these weren't bought by developers or anything like that. These were just bought and resold. Yeah, see if there's any other questions in here. That's why I filter for the road frontage as a percentage of a perimeter would be so powerful. I'm sure he's already brought that to you, Dan.
Mm-hmm. Could you work backwards on that though? Could you do the amount of road frontage based on the acreage range, and that is a percentage? Ron?
I'm just reading. Perimeter. I don't think so.
We have the
shapes can be different in the back. You have the shape file, so you have the total boundary somewhere, Dan.
Well, if you have the road frontage, we have the boundaries. We have the measurement on every line on a polygon, essentially on every shape.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Interesting. 5:59, guys. If there's no other questions, we can end it there. Yeah, if you guys get these type of deals, submitting into the certified funder program is great. If you guys are interested in learning more about this, like I said, I put a consultation link in the description, landinvestingonline.com/consultation if you're interested in potentially becoming a member. Other than that, guys, we'll come back next week. We'll let you guys know the topics. If you guys